I just turned racist to get out of the one night stand because I like doing the math. I figured that like it was easier to let her off having just met some random asshole than it was for me to explain to her that like the whole shrine to the still living kid thing. Yeah. He's Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Connie's Untitled Nighttime Talk Show. Definitely not an acronym. I'm here with a professional musician and part-time philosopher, Payton Easley.
Yeah.
Payton, how many bands are you in?
I'm in 3, which is too many. And then I do pickup gigs.
How many girlfriends do you have?
I only do one of those at a time.
All right. At a time. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I don't like that other stuff.
Well, yeah, no, it's kind of like having bandmates.
Yeah. Already got 15 dudes that are my girlfriends.
Are you cold? Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Do you feel good? Everything's fine. I'm not mad at you.
I'm hungry. I don't know where to eat.
Yeah, no. It's real. It's real out here.
Yep.
Yep.
Welcome to the abandoned house out here.
No, it's just good, dude. I love the haunted home, you know.
I was pretty sure this place was haunted when I was growing up.
Not the only haunted venue that I've played at, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in 3 different bands.
Yep. I'm playing with Sophia Clark now.
Okay.
And then I play with
That's Eureka, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then another Eureka-based band called God Dog. Bear Morrison runs that thing.
Yep.
And then I got my own band called Cousin Payton and the Congregation.
And the Congregation.
Yeah. Copay and the Con for short.
So, who's in the Congregation?
My drummer is Taylor Alderson. My bass player is the one and only Jack Nicholson. And got Tyler Yoakum. And then we got some guys that kind of... Well, God damn it, Kevin, I'm sorry. Kevin
Anderson.
His last name's escaping me right now.
Sorry, Kev.
Yeah.
You're a drummer. You're in like 8 bands.
He's a keyboard player.
Oh, shit. Well, then he's in like 3 bands.
Sorry, Viv. That's what they call him there.
Viv?
Viv. I have no idea.
All right. Sounds like an earned nickname.
Yeah. And then Richard Burnett plays pedal steel with us.
Oh, shit.
But he's got his own group, so...
Well, I imagine pedal steel's like octopus brain.
I don't know. I think he plays pedal steel, and like everybody that's in my band has a band called... fuck. Sorry. Too many cuss words in the first couple minutes.
That's alright. We can edit it real easy. I just Control F for fucks and then, yeah, it's easy. It's actually really, it's cool.
They got a 90s country tribute that they do called Gone Country. And everybody that's in my band plays in that band except me. I was in it and I quit it before they got going. And then they started taking off and like making killer money. Like, guys, can I please come back? I'll miss you.
Is that how humbling is that? Hey, sorry guys.
Well, I was in 3 other bands at the time,
and kind of over it. And you've got like,
well, they had
children and a job.
Yeah,
and a
job sometimes.
A whole ass life. Well, all right. Yeah.
Only one with kids in the band though. So they're raring to go, and I'm like, yeah, I'll call you next Tuesday. But yeah, they got that thing going, and then like once they took off the 2, I was like, well, I'm in 3 bands right now, and 2 of them are original, and you guys are doing 90s country, which I love.
It's fine, yeah.
But
that's the thing I think I learned from from Jacob was that, like, he is not fond of country music.
Right.
To put it lightly.
A lot of those people around.
And, well, the reason
I didn't mean those people, but...
I don't know what you're talking about. But the thing that I kind of like, I'd be pissed, too, if I had to, like, play Boot Scoot Boogie and, like, all the...
Yeah, if you don't like it...
Super hammy, like...
You shouldn't be in that band.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, that's just a casino gig.
Yeah, true.
You know? Because I don't know about... Well, I don't know what this whole show's about. Nobody watches it. You can say whatever you want.
F word, F word, F word.
Pick your interpretation.
Oh, yeah. Right.
There's a lot of letters. Now.
Not hating on the pride stuff.
Well...
Same words my grandma doesn't like.
Not in June. You know.
She probably likes the other one, you know.
Well,
she's old school.
Tradition.
Gross.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's about regular with everything else that's happened on every other part of the globe.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, we got into
like
some
white
of it.
people invented racism is just narcissistic on the part of white folks.
Right.
Which, you know, and I don't want to get in trouble with those guys.
This one's for you, white people.
Yeah. Don't be too proud. I'll be at the Take the Pride Back rally on August 21st. No. No, what was the point I was going to make? I don't know. Like, I feel like... I think it's kind of funny how, like, one school of thought can, like, come around full circle to make, like, you know, like, designated drinking fountains again, you know? Oh, this is a graduation for only blank people. And it's like, okay, well, I feel like you guys...
That would make me feel bad for graduating.
Who's that for? Right, yeah. Right. Anyways, I'm trying really hard not to be an activist.
Yeah.
I don't know if you couldn't tell. Yeah, it's kind of tough because everybody, like, wants to, like...
It's a tough job.
Well, yeah, being pissed off all the time. You know, about something, painting signs, going to the park.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hate on my Aunt Melinda for the rest of this show.
There you go. Aunt Melinda voted for whoever you don't like.
Yeah. She wrote herself in.
Hell yeah.
But, yeah, the Sophia Clark thing, it's gay honky tonk.
Sure.
It's
chick.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Gay tonk.
She's badass.
Hell yeah.
Good songwriter. It's tough being in other bands where I appreciate the tunes and the vocals and everything else that's going on, and then get in mine and be like, oh, this is... what am I doing trying to do this?
The fuck?
Yeah.
Well... I think the first taste of that I ever got was when I was playing hockey. I was always like, I didn't practice as hard as I could have, you know.
Nobody does.
So
not everybody's Kobe.
But I made Beat Team All Stars one year.
Hell yeah!
And it was crazy, dude, because like everybody could pass to each other.
Yeah.
Like that, and like all the basic stuff was totally covered. I could, you know, think of somebody. It was just way easier,
right?
And I feel like the same is true with music, except that you get, you know, your friends involved with it, and yeah,
and then you have to pick a team name,
right? Yeah, yeah, it's always bad.
It's way harder than writing songs.
During the pandemic, I started this band called The Imperfectionists, and then I looked it up, like, after we've been practicing for a year, because the pandemic took a while. And there's already a band called The Imperfectionists with a bold front man.
Yeah.
And
It's like, I guess I'll shut it down.
well, that wasn't the reason I really shut it down, but I didn't really shut it down. It kind of petered out.
Yeah.
The whole thing was like, okay, tell me if you can relate to this. Is like, the whole thing kind of petered out because like the drummer, a lady, ended up getting romantically involved with like the dispensary owner, the practice space, you know, or her boyfriend at the time.
Can we bleep out the dispensary name?
We don't need. Well, it's not a dispensary anymore. Shout out to Peep's place, but yeah. Ever since then, it was like, well, it's like at that point, it's like I don't need to drive an hour out of town to go practice.
Yeah.
You can do that at home, and this was cool because it was in this place it was in, you know.
Where was the practice spot at?
It used to be at Flower to the People in Wagner, Oklahoma.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, now a bar.
Now a bar.
Yep, where they do way more business.
Had a band that was based out of Springfield. Half the guys were from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Half of them were out of Springfield, Missouri. But the two front guys lived up in Springfield. And so it's like, we got them down here for one, maybe two practices. And then we had to go up there for the rest of them. And it's like,
Was it like 2.5 hours?
yeah, 2.5 hours up there.
So like, okay, I had a rule when I was driving at Chakota for a while. Because like when Oklahoma went legal, they went, well, when Oklahoma went medical, some of the people like took it to the fullest extent that they could.
Mm-hmm.
So like instead of furniture, they'd have like grow tents and stuff. So you'd walk into this guy's house and it would look like fucking Jumanji. And just with pot plants instead of like, you know, futons. And yeah, like,
Yeah, you're in the middle of production trying to go get a bag.
everybody thinks the world's gonna end. This seems perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the sign coming out of Siloam Springs into Oklahoma where it's just spray painted on a big piece of plywood where it says like $60 ounces.
Oh, yeah. No, I know this guy.
Or maybe it's lower. It might be $30 ounces or something.
They might have crossed it out.
It might have been where you
Had to
practicing
paint over it, yeah. Well, it's an hour in. You gotta go way
Yeah.
over the border.
Yeah.
Well, that was from Siloam, but yeah. No, pandemic was weird, dude. The part that I liked was like gas dipped underneath $1
Yeah.
for a little bit. And
Just like, just please buy this.
in
You have to go
Westville,
somewhere.
yeah. And I was like, fuck, I can go to California.
Right?
Nothing to do, but like,
You can't go anywhere when
Yeah.
you get there.
but I'll get there.
Yeah, that was all wild. Did you ever get COVID?
I did, but not until like after
Yeah.
everything had been lifted.
Right.
Yeah, it was funny. It's like my girlfriend gets pissed off at me because like I don't do anything. Like I might.
You had an
okay.
excuse not to do more stuff.
Well, okay. I'm a bald hippie. All right. Like one.
So nobody believes you.
Well, one part of being yeah. I haven't gotten a haircut longer than you. You know, actually. So.
I'm going on a year now. Because my ex left me. She was
Aw.
a hairstylist.
Is that why you don't have any braids anymore?
I got hippie friends. They're girls that know how to braid hair.
They're all busy.
Shout out to Rhiannon. But I got it once. It wrecked me. And then...
That was the last time we talked. That was like... We've done one of these before, right?
One of these?
Yeah.
No.
No, we just hung
We
out
hung out at...
and then jammed.
Yeah, I gave you...
That's right.
My ex made those blueberry bagels that were more salt than anything. It was her first run on it, but it's like it sapped you. Like you're dehydrated after the first bite.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna.
You managed to get it down, that's for sure. Like, oh, damn it. I asked for one of these and like just one bite. That's not gonna do it. I gotta eat this whole damn thing now.
Have you ever given a gift that somebody else's?
Oh yeah, I'm sure most of my gifts are that way.
Anything specific stand out?
One of the things that, like, my new girlfriend, she like, if she sees some bones on a hike or something, she's like, ooh, gimme. Like, she's a bone collector, if you know what I mean.
Nope.
But she said something about, like, wanting a human skull or something. And I'm like, well, you can have mine when I'm done with it. And then I started looking up, like, Google searching the legality of any of that. And there's a place on the internet called the Bone Room. And they got all sorts of different animals and whatnot, but they sell human bones on there too. And so I got her a vertebrae. I got her a human backbone. And like, she didn't ask for that, but the skulls were pricey, you know? The skulls were pretty up there. And
well, how much for a human skull for the listeners?
I think it's over $1,000, depending on, like, the
paperwork,
the shape of it.
Whoa.
And then, like, when the backbone came in, it came with, like, a little pamphlet, and, like, just them trying to sell you on it being a legal transaction. But most of them are from, like, the 50s and 60s, and they were used for, like, college study stuff, or dentists, or doctors, or whatever.
It's a skull.
So not only did I get her a backbone, but it was definitely out of date. You know.
It was expired.
Old boy was expired as fuck.
You give her Abe Lincoln's L13.
They'll sell you a full skeleton if you got the money for it. But yeah, I don't know. Definitely weirdest gift I've given somebody.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But you can get, like, a finger bone for like $20, you know.
I don't know what the fuck that means. A finger bone?
Yeah, just one bone.
They call them tarsals, right? Finger bone.
Don't be educating me on here.
I'm not doing that. No, that's not my intention. I'm
clearly a tarsal.
We'll make sure nobody's getting scammed, you know?
Right.
I don't want you to get no deer finger bone.
They sell teeth on there too, and I'm like, that's bullshit. This could. Do you guys
on toothfairy.com?
Can I sell you my kids' teeth? Like, we're not making any money off of these things. But you guys you're trying to flip them fucking teeth.
One time I was doing something illicit over at a house party with the it was like Chris Parker in Arkansas, like at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a dude who, like, I just got
over at Tom's house with Chris?
Yeah, on the hill. Yep. And I just gotten back from Canada. It was a tough trip, but I had like a section of like moose spine.
Oh yeah.
It's like 5 vertebrae like stacked in a row, and you could like see through. I wanted to make a lamp.
You know, that's cool. It's wild, but it's cool.
And then this guy offered to buy it for me.
What'd you get for it?
$100.
Sold.
Yeah, totally. It's just been stinking up my trunk.
I thought you were gonna say Chris bought it and turned it into like bone nuts for a guitar.
That'd be bananas.
They're also probably not wide enough, but
No, they were.
Oh yeah.
It was like
it was full grown moose, so it was
a
monster.
Dude. Yeah, I remember like the trip was going so poorly that like, and then I'm like, okay, so I took a kayak from Walmart, and then I put a bunch of like O-rings and eyelets on it, and like screwed in like this whole fucking bungee shit, so that I could strap crap to it, and then went out with it, and I just, every time we'd come up to like a technical set of rapids, I would strap the spine onto the back of the thing and then hope I wouldn't dump.
So you found the spine on the float trip?
Yeah. Well, float trip's a little casual. It was like it was like a 10-day thing where we ran out of food for a while.
Super casual 10-day float. I've never done that.
Nah, dude. The first one I went on was like a 30-day ordeal.
Shut up. That's wild.
Well, it's where like the food pack starts off at 100 pounds, then it goes down to 0, and everybody rotates, and then like you resupply, and then at like day 20, everybody ended up getting like fucking Civil War trench foot Vietnam shit, like just awful, and then you get a letter from your dad. Everybody's writing letters as all their kids are going away to camp, and my dad's letter read something like, Yukon, I'm looking around at all these people crying about sending their kids to Canada for 30 days, and when I was your age, me and my friends would wonder who would die in Vietnam the next year. And I was like, well, it still sucks. My feet hurt.
So did you like work your way up to a 30-day float?
No. That was like the first one.
You're crazy.
You just jump in. I am, actually. Well, turns out.
You get down the river a couple hours, you're like, okay, I'm locked into this.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's like in, nature, I think that like if you're exposed enough, it's like there's a rhythm to everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't wake up before the mosquitoes,
you're gonna wish you would
get out on the water, right? And if you don't, I'll refine it further. Like, not toilet paper in the woods, right? Mm-hmm. And up in Canada, because of the glacier, all the topsoil's basically been scraped away.
So digging holes.
So you got moss growing on top of granite. And now your toilet paper is like 400 years old. And gunshots. That's quaint.
Yeah. We're out in the hood.
Pine Bluff. Now, so like wiping your ass with moss at noon that's dry from the sun is totally different than doing it when it's like soaked with dew and like lush.
Wet wipes.
5 in the morning. No, not just that. It's like a wet wipe plus like a Brillo pad. Yeah, dude, it is better than what you can buy. But only for a window of time,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to get out of the water by a certain time. More quaint. And then you got it's getting closer. You gotta
Mammal's coming down.
I saw somebody on the Ring doorbell on my 300-year-old house. But there's like if you don't set up camp, make your tent, all that shit, cook food before the mosquitoes comes out, like at night, then you're also fucked.
Yeah.
Because you wake up. They are getting closer. Oh, no, that's fireworks. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other time of year, that was definitely gunshots. It's not unheard of out here.
So what I learned out in the woods is that, like, it doesn't matter what you think. You're not...
Yeah, you're submitting to the elements. Like, well, I got to do this right now, or it's not going to get done.
No. Like, if I'm camping, there's a list of shit that has to absolutely get done before we can even think about having fun. going fishing. Fucking, up in Canada, it's like you can drop a fucking, like, line with nothing on it. A fish will bite it. We didn't have time for that because we were too busy being dumb fucks. Like,
so,
anyways.
like, when did you, like, what point in that trip did you feel like you're like, okay, I got this? Because it's not day one, right, of a 30-day trip.
It was probably like day 27. Day 27 of the 30-day excursion. So, like, they also did this thing because it's like you go when you're 16 and it's supposed to be you leave a boy and become a man, type of thing.
They don't have a lot of that stuff down here.
No. Not unless you're in the Scouts.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you're getting SA'd at a certain point.
Yeah. Excellent censorship there. Yeah.
You gave me a couple of ground rules at the beginning.
I also said I could edit it.
Right.
I have to type in essay with an E. Anyway.
Contact the people at YouTube, see if it's passable. They probably got a bunch of bots doing all that work, huh?
They absolutely do. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, that's how I figured out that, like, you can't... Okay, the reason we're recording it here and not at a local business is because, like, if I was on the patio somewhere and any copywritten song was playing...
Right.
The algorithm would pick it up, like, bop, demonetized,
Yeah.
Which isn't...
Kind of takes fun out of it.
Well,
Or you're doing it for nothing because it's just like, nope, that's down.
Yeah. Well, actually, most of this is just doing it for nothing. I don't know why I'm doing this. But
cheers.
Yeah. Because I enjoy it.
It does seem like a fun gig.
This?
Yeah.
It's not really a gig. Nobody's paid me yet. But...
Well, that's the goal, though, right? Or
I think
one of the
okay,
maybe goals.
Well, okay, so, like, tell me what you think about this. Like, just art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take all the stuff that I enjoy, all the stuff that I get value out of, and then get good enough at it that hopefully other people can appreciate it the same way that, or in a completely different way than I do.
Right.
Appreciate it at all, monetarily, eventually.
Yeah.
I
mean, when I'm having to drive a long ways, like, podcast my best friend, like, because if you just have something going on like Pandora, Spotify, or something, it's like you're going to end up hearing the same songs that you always listen to. And it's like sometimes you're not in the mood for it, but something that goes as long as something like this, and
there's definitely a mix, like, especially if you're, like, working like a trade. Like, I definitely know some, like, electrician and some plumber guys. Like,
yeah, it'll
if
get
they
you
lose
through
their earbuds, the whole day's over.
Yeah, absolutely. I did that when I was hitting the stonemasonry real hard. That or listen to audiobooks.
Same deal. Honestly, though, like, I feel like all the people that are working tradey kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when the pandemic hit, I had 2 different bosses. I had 2 jobs because there was a breathalyzer in my car and I had bills. And both the same age. One of them was like 150 pounds and then the other one was like 400 pounds. One of them worked construction, the other one didn't. I'll let you do the math.
Yeah, construction is not kind to a person.
Well,
it can be, but it's like working for somebody else.
That's not really what I'm saying. What I mean is, like, the big, I don't know, the bigger guy and the heavier dude was working, like, under iridescent lights, fucking incandescent lights, like doing pencil pusher stuff, and the other guy was like putting stuff together. And even though one is definitely harder, one of them is still alive now.
Oh, the big boy passed?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the work sucks, but, like, not as bad as whatever the alternative is, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes
Being
sense.
able to work and
Right.
not being
Yeah.
just non-existent anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, mobility. Like,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that's just like repetitive motion type stuff, where it's like
tedium.
you get to where you're good at it, and then by the time you're good at it, like you're just breaking your body every day for it. And it's like it's not hard on you, but it is. Like you don't realize it, but
well, I don't know. And there's something to be said about yoga. Yeah.
Yeah, construction guys aren't doing a lot of yoga.
No, not traditionally.
Unless they're having to like finagle their way into something, and then it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes tops.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not all that controlled breathing.
Right, you're holding your breath the whole damn time. Like, fuck! Oh, it's almost there.
Yeah. There is a balance, though. I don't know. You know, like, from my observation.
Yeah, it's good for you until it's not.
Yeah, until you fall off a ladder. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll age you quick.
I've definitely been in some sketchy situations doing construction work. Yeah. We had this one guy, he was just a wild card, like bad end of construction work spectrum. Like the guy was on all sorts of stuff.
Old Bubba.
And he was like he was a collegiate wrestler.
Oh.
For
hard to argue with.
Oh yeah, one of his first days on the job. Like I just came in, I was hungover, didn't want to be there, and
sounds about right.
I walked past him and I didn't really know the guy at that point, and he was just like, "What are you looking so fucking mean for?" And I was like, "Me?
Sir?
I got resting bastard face, And he would, like, we became buddies or whatever, but he was like, I was just walking past him, I didn't even look at him.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. But I knew he was a wrestler already. And,
oh, fuck.
And then after that, we were buddies, but he would, like, come and mess with me every now and then, like he was about to get into a grappling match, and I was like, no, please don't, please don't.
Just skip a letter, please.
But I seen, there was one point where he was putting in this big stone on this wall, and we needed like it was a Dynalift, so it's like a forklift on steroids that extends out real far.
So like a sky,
like a skylift, I guess.
Yeah.
And the guy running the skylift was the boss's son, and they didn't have they'd maxed out the extension, but it still wasn't there yet. And the boss's son was like, "Well, I'm gonna have to bring it back in and lift up like the supports and drive forward a little bit." And the guy was like, "No, it's fine. Just lift up your outriggers and drive forward." And neither one of them considered the weight and the extension on it. And so he lifted up the outriggers and it dumped the stone on this dude. And he was up in another like scissor lift or something. And it dropped on him. And everybody saw it except like the guy that was managing the job site. Which was lucky for both of them, because he hated the wrestler guy, and I don't know what he thought about the boss's son or whatever, but you can kind of guess. And anyway, he lifted those up. That stone dumped on him, and then he just like dropped. The stone hit him and glanced off, but he laid down in that lift for like 10 minutes before he answered any of us. And I was like, dude, just say something to us so we know that we don't have to like...
Don't.
He's like,
be that.
He's like, don't tell anyone. That's the first thing he said.
Let's talk to the masculinity for you.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. I'm fine. I just broke my shoulder in multiple spots. But he was on enough stimulants that he was back the next day. Like, he didn't miss a day because of it. He missed days because of other stuff. Not for that. No. He got caught stealing catalytic converters.
Jesus.
In the middle of a job, and then like the site super
on his lunch break?
Not at the job site, but he got picked up and everybody knew about it, and the site supervisor was like,
try to sell him.
You guys are gonna let this guy keep working for you, like, even though you know that. And my boss was just like, we need help. Like, do you know anybody who does stonemasonry?
Damn.
And they let him keep working.
Shout out to being good at your job. Yeah.
He was brand new at it. He was brand new at it.
Well, they needed help. Dang.
Oh, man. Yeah, hitting Eureka on Thursday and Friday in Lawrence, Kansas, and then Saturday in Missouri. I got back like 2 o'clock this morning. Almost canceled on you again. I'm like, I've already canceled once. Can't do it again.
Oh, no. I think this is great.
I figured if I had a couple beers before you showed up, like, I'll be good. I'll be good by 9 o'clock. Is this the first one you've done at night?
No.
No? Dang it. I was hoping for that.
I did one in my bedroom. I was like, Stephen Reed, you are the only person in my bedroom I haven't had to try to have sex with. How does it feel?
Anyway, I'm going to shut the cameras off for a second, Steve.
And I'm going to put it on real thick. What kind of candles do you like? Yeah. That's me. Yeah, no, the 4th of July thing, I don't know. Like, I used to celebrate way too hard.
Yeah.
You know, like before Fail Army, you know, took over for America's Funniest Home Videos. You know, there was just guys fucking with each other, and I had one of those. It was like a sparkler, like a pistol grip.
Mm-hmm.
So I like duct taped the Sola cup onto it, so it had like a blast cone, I guess.
Yeah.
And that way I could like binder clip. Excuse me. Bottle rockets to the front of it, and then point it like a pistol, and then terrorize not just my friends, but anybody that happened to go down that street. Also, shout out to East Hall Recording. East Hall Recording, they're in trouble. The highway wants to
eat the studio,
and that's where I was blasting people, allegedly.
Man, East Hall's been there for a long time, too.
Yeah. I remember, the funny thing about East Hall, they did a thing where it's like free recording for anybody who submits, so I submitted, and then by the time I tried to like capitalize on it, the pandemic had happened.
Right, so not available anymore.
Well, because the guy lives at home with his dad.
Is it Dwight over there?
I think. I don't know. My takeaway was that every musician that I've ever met lives at home with their parents.
Shout out to my mama. We're in her abandoned house right now.
We are. It's not abandoned. There's work on.
Yeah, it's being renovated.
It is
30 seconds out of each year.
Bustling hive of activity.
Yeah. We had to shut the job site down for this.
Yeah. It was a very big deal.
Have you done any recording music-wise?
I've been dicking around in my room. So, like, the pandemic fucked all that stuff up for me. Because I had a bunch of, like, recording studio time, like, banked up. And then nobody can hang out with their mom and dad there. And then, you know, I've been, like, just collecting shit for years. And now I'm kind of convinced after watching a handful of guys, like, it seems like all I gotta do is record my own if I have all the equipment, I could record a shitty version of the best shitty version of whatever I can do, and then put it on the internet, like, and that's what, I don't know, seems like what everybody's doing.
Are you familiar with Jesse Wells?
Yeah, so he records in his backyard, and I asked him a stupid question. Look at all this bullshit. So I was like, hey man, what do you do to record your stuff? And he's like, oh, I just use my phone. And I'm like, oh.
So, and it's so genuine too.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
He opened up with Taylor Smith from Vintage Pistol, like they did like a song swap.
Yep.
For my band's first show. And Mitch Twombly booked it, and then he told me about it. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's my band's first show, and you're gonna get like two well-established artists to open up for this show?
That's respect, I guess, for you.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. It just seems so unjustified. Like, can we just open up? I know they're just two guys trading songs, but can we get our full band to open up for them? Because that makes more sense. Yeah.
See, that's regular humility. Like, I think that.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like you.
Yeah, because I don't believe in me.
Yeah. No. Okay. Actually, yes. And I'll tell you what it is. It's like. With a lot of comedians, if you could grab me one of mine.
You want one of these?
No.
Okay.
I honestly feel like the best combination to have is like high ego and very low self-esteem.
I don't have that. I just say shit and then regret it later. Like, does that even make any sense?
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're not. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you have to, you know. For a moment, you have to think that I am the shit, and then you make something, and you do this, you know, and then, you know, and then you have to, like, fuck, what am I gonna do to, like, do better than that? Like, that's the low self-esteem part.
The thing that gave me the most confidence, and I still don't believe it. Do you know who Chucky Wags is?
Yeah. Eureka?
Yep.
Plays like
best damn hat salesman in the tri-state area.
He's a hat salesman.
He sells a lot of his hats at his merch table.
All right.
I lost. I've got several of them, but my favorite one I lost on a float trip. Within like I guess I lost it on Mother's Day this year, so not too long ago.
You dump in a kayak?
I dumped in the hat and I tossed the hat.
You forget to keep paddling?
No, but there was a kid on the float trip. It was my girlfriend's kid. And he's like, it's just so bright out here. And I'm like, here, you can wear my hat, you know? And then he ended up giving it back, and I just kind of strapped it to my belt loop.
There you go.
And then
by the
time that we pulled out, I looked down and it was gone. And I was like, I have no idea where I lost it. But last August, I guess it was, I went out and watched a band that Chucky plays with called the Hex Peddlers.
Yeah. At Chelsea's?
Uh-huh. And
the place is haunted. Have you heard the thing about that place? How the dude is buried underneath the stage? Oh, yeah,
I've seen it.
What?
You can look underneath the stage and see
the coffin?
He's cremated. But you can see, like...
dust.
It's not like a body.
That sounds suspect, though.
Yeah. Well, and then...
You can see dust under any...
Somebody else showed me, they're like, check it out, there's like an old school metal lunchbox over here, and then they pulled it out and opened it, and there was somebody else's ashes under the stage. So it's not just one person whose remains are under the stage. There's multiple people under there.
Right. Yeah.
But they say, like, Eureka does, like, haunted tours.
Whoa.
And
It's
stuff.
an old place, yeah.
But
200-year-old place.
went and watched Chucky out there
250.
with the Hex Peddlers, and we went out to Big Clifty. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a spot on, I don't know what lake it's on, but
Beaver.
it's probably Beaver. It's not Lake Leatherwood, I'm pretty sure, which is the lake that's in Eureka. Like, it's a good trip out to Big Clifty from Eureka.
Okay.
But,
You mean like regular Clifty? Is that different?
no, not. It's
Okay,
funny, my
alright.
car broke down in Clifty that night, and my new girlfriend picked me up and then took me out there, and then it was this guy, Tim Slocum. He works around Eureka, and it was his birthday that night. So we got done with watching Hex Peddlers at Chelsea's and then went out to Big Clifty after me breaking down in Clifty. And we get out there and, we're kind of passing a guitar around, like doing our songs and whatnot. And I played one of mine. It's called Hard Luck Love. And then I went and crashed out pretty soon after that. And Chucky asked my buddy Bear, who I play in God Dog with, he's like, "What's that song Payton played earlier?" And he's like, "Oh, dude, that's his song."
I don't know.
And I woke up the next morning and everybody was already getting around before I made it up, and I walk out and Chucky walks up to me. He's got a guitar acoustic in his hand. And he's like, "I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but will you please play that song of yours that you played last night?" And it's like, I hadn't even said 3 words at this point in the morning. Yeah, very much so. And he got done with it. He's like, "Oh my God, dude, I love that song. I had no idea it was yours."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But it was, I don't know, I'm a big fan of his, and him being like, "Dude, will you play that song for me, please?" And I'm like, "I'll play it for you.
That is.
But it's gonna sound like shit compared
That is.
I was well oiled last night."
Well, that is high praise, I don't know. I feel like as an artist, to use the term loosely, like getting encouragement from somebody that you look up to
Right.
for any reason at all, even if
Absolutely.
you're wrong completely,
Right. Or if they're wrong.
yeah, right. It's important to keep the thing going, and like if I didn't have that kind of thing, I wouldn't do comedy. Like, yeah.
Nobody encourages you on your tunes?
Oh no, I mean, like, people encourage me way more on the. Well, okay. People used to encourage. I used to Ben Miller used to do an open mic over at George's,
Mm-hmm.
and I showed up and for all my work friends, and I didn't tell them I was doing comedy. And I went up and I tried
Was
to
that
do
the shit show that he was doing?
That's right. Yep. It was the shit show. And so I did the shit show twice. I did the first time I tried to do stand-up comedy, and then I had my friend play guitar while I sang. And the first time I bombed. And it was all my friends staring at me.
You bombed at the shit show?
Yeah. Everybody who was at the fucking house party at Arkansas was like, yeah, staring at me. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
They're just not getting it.
No. Well, no. I mean, they knew who I was. It was too, I used to, I don't know. I had a gas card. I could go out of town to practice this shit.
Uh-huh.
And there was a reason I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. It's because I sucked. And I knew
stand-up?
it. Yeah. And I knew it. And and I accidentally got up in front of all my friends. And then, do you know Chun?
Oh, Austin Chun?
Yeah.
I got a song about Austin Chun.
He gave me a pep talk at a house party later.
Dude, Chun's good for that.
Chun's great. No, and fucking dude, alright. So I bombed at Ben's thing. And I bombed so bad, so Dover. You know Dover?
Yeah.
So Dover had heckled too much the week before. So Ben had like this ball gag, like just steeping in Listerine.
Did he put it on Dover?
No, he put it on himself because he couldn't quit interrupting my fucking story. The story goes, he said, I DEA comes to my house and I tried to sell them satellite television, and they're looking for drugs and I have no possessions at this point because I'm a starving artist, and I've been at school all morning and work all night. Now there's a goddamn costume party, I started telling them about the benefits of Dish and DirecTV, and if you swap your contracts every 2 years, you could spend half as much.
It'd be a better story if you didn't even work for any of the Dish.
Well, I used to. The reason I tell the story is because, like, at a certain point, the cops are like, well, I got cocks, I'm happy with my service. And then I was like, whoa.
You're making them walk it back.
Excuse me, sir, you came to me. And that's when, like, a bunch of dudes ripping apart my house turned and like, and that was the moment I knew I didn't have to tell my parents about it for at least another year.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I couldn't get through that story with fucking Ben. And the ball gag that he brought for Dover, he ended up putting on himself because he couldn't quit interrupting. And then the week after that, I ended up like singing with my friend, and that's when Mitch Twombly gave me a speech, like grabbed me by the shoulders, like, "Are you fucking with everybody right now? What the hell was that?"
He didn't get it?
No, he appreciated the music. Way more.
He is a music lover.
and then John gave me a speech I'll never forget, which is, for the kids at home, if you're doing comedy, it's either one of two things. He gave me one of them. He gave me grabs him by the shoulder. Look, man, what you did up there, I didn't like it. You're not funny,
He told you that?
He did. I could never do it. But that took balls, dude.
Right.
And I could never do it. And what he's saying is you embarrass yourself.
Shout out to Mitch.
You embarrass yourself. No, that wasn't Mitch. This is Chun now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mitch was like,
why are you... Mitch. This one's for Chun.
Well,
welcome to the Chunderdome.
Mitch gave me a different, similar thing. Like, why are you doing?
Right. Was that it? That one was at George's?
Yeah, that was the shit shows.
Right.
Yep. And then I brought a painting. It's like half Andy Warhol, half dildo that I bent for authenticity. With a Prince Albert.
Yeah.
A glitter paint. Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
It was fun. Like, here's a joke.
Yeah, my tune about Chun, we were doing that there's like a bathroom that's over there off of the bike trail on Greg. It's like, what is it, Dean?
Yeah.
That runs back towards like the dispensary and heading back to 49.
Yeah. The bathroom.
Yeah, it was like a trailside bathroom. We did some stonework on it. And we got done at the end of the job. Like, we didn't have any mortar left. We'd packed up all the stone and everything. And Austin, it was like his first full job that he was on with us. He worked with us for a while.
How was he?
It was fun, dude.
All right, yeah.
He was, I don't know. He was cracking me up on just like, he can do stonework, but like, even if he couldn't, the personality hire was golden.
That is important.
And so
yeah,
he laid the last stone. Like, it's, you get up to the top and then you put a cap on it, so like when water drips down on it, it's not dripping down on all the other stone. It hangs out a little bit more.
Right.
And so there was this little stone that we had to lay on the top of the cap, and he had to cut both sides of it, and then he had to cut the back off of it so it would fit in there, and then it would stick out the right amount. And we didn't notice it until we'd already, like, you lay the stone, you let it set up a little bit with the mortar, and then you scratch the joints. Yeah. And then because if you don't, like, everything's going to be white and real smooth. So you scrape it so it has like a normal looking texture to it. Yeah. And so he laid the last cap, and we didn't figure it out until we'd had everything packed up, no more materials on the job, that he'd laid it backwards. So the saw cut on it was just super smooth, like not looking normal. And I started calling him the saw face boy. And I was listening to a lot of Tom Waits at the time. Oh, yeah. And so, like, I was like, man, I love that Sawface boy. And I'm like, I gotta write a song about this.
Sawface boy?
Sawface boy. It's one of my favorite tunes to play.
Do you have a link for it?
No, I don't. All right. We're trying to cut it. So.
You can find it later.
You can find it at West End on July 5th.
Oh! This guy's got a gig right after the attack.
Sorry, no, edit. I think holidays are bullshit.
Yeah, every day should be a holiday.
Well, every day. I think birthdays are bullshit.
Oh, I don't like my birthday for sure.
Are you a December baby?
No, January baby though.
Okay, well then,
same thing.
Yeah, like.
Are you December?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like 6 days from Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. I'd rather not celebrate it than everybody ask how old I am. And that feels better, honestly.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, it gets more insulting as time goes on.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
because nobody gives you any fucking respect. But yeah.
I started doing half birthdays a while back.
Whoa.
Because
who'd you vote for? What are you talking about?
I wrote Melinda in. But it's just like January's a shitty time to have a birthday.
Yeah.
Or a party anyway.
Well, depends.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was...
I'm not saying you can't do it, but like...
But like, my half birthday's in July, you know? And it's like...
Easier.
Dude, little kids take that shit important, you know? Dude, I'm 6.5. I'm not 6.
Fuck them kids. All right, they don't know what time is. All right.
Same, brother.
Yeah. Well, I'm 6.5. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not 33.
And so you can Google it. Like, this is my birthday. This is my birthday. Oh, I know some of those people. And when their birthday actually rolls around, they party hard.
Yikes. Yeah.
I had to wait a few years to get this party in on the right day.
That makes sense. Well, you don't want to be sitting on the floor. Dude, I've been going to Dixon Street for like the first time in like a couple, 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
And I like just remember it. Okay. Cool thing about Dixon Street, it's a lot of fun. But one of the things that I noticed as like nobody, just like a random person, is that like the likelihood that you can walk down the street and get swept down into some Jerry Springer bullshit, some like domestic violence thing from your buddy in high school is relatively high.
Yeah.
You know? And if you're not in town, like, no, so that was cool. You know? But now I've been hanging around long enough that like I could see it.
Shouldn't have came out tonight.
Yeah, no. Because half of it's like, hey, where you been? And then the other half is like, hey, remember the dumbest thing you've ever done, ever?
Yep.
Actually, I do. She did say the N-word. My bad.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Oh, my God.
I went into George's one night, and I was with my buddy. I won't say his name. Yeah, Alex.
Everybody knows about him.
We went into George's, and like the staff was like, we were both pretty drunk, so like they were watching out for us to do something to kick us out.
Yeah.
And and you know, I started getting on to him and just like, dude, we gotta lock it up You know, like, they're trying to kick us out of here. We get kicked out of here super easy. And
Hey!
we went out to smoke a cigarette on that front porch, and I'm sitting there talking to somebody, and then I hear one of the staff go, "What the fuck?" And I turn around and I look, and my buddy's on the porch at George's, and he's hanging dong
Peeing on the railroad?
and pissing on the railroad tracks.
Sounds like
And
my
he's
friend.
like, "You gotta get the fuck out of here." And I'm like, "Hey, dude, I got him. We'll get out of here right now." And it's not the first time he's pissed on Dixon Street in a place he wasn't supposed to piss on.
Dude, I'm ashamed to say this, but like one time, this is how often me and my buddies hung out at Riley's. Like, one night I took the tip jar.
This is back when they were having music.
No.
Oh, you took the bars tip
Regular
jar.
night.
Ugh.
Yeah. And it might have been like a Sunday. And I threw it up like a volleyball and then spiked it into the ground.
So it was glass one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then my friends were so cool that
You actually have to leave now.
No, I didn't.
No, I'm saying right now.
Well,
You gotta.
no, I
you
mean-
can't do that, Conrad.
I mean, well, I learned. I think I had to be told again, but
You didn't remember doing it.
no. Like, that sounds like the biggest asshole move anybody would ever do, and I pulled it off. Like, not that I'm proud of myself.
Some people say it's like when you're drunk, you show the truest.
More than you.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Because some of the stories I've heard about myself, I'm like, dude, I would never. Like, I understand that that's fucked up now.
Okay, so
My frontal lobe was shut down at that point.
okay, so great that you say that. Maybe it's
Maybe
or
that's the
some
problem.
vocab words.
This
'cause,
part
like,
of the segment is brought to you by...
we're gonna not go to AA here. No, but like, Conrad, you were making out with the smoking hot chick at this party last night, and then like 2 days later, like my roommates would come over, and like, you know, we'd be like smoking in the house, and my neighbor would be there, like, "That was the chick," and I'm like, "No, it fucking wasn't. No, it wasn't."
Well, yeah.
I mean, like,
I feel like there's arguments for both sides of that. But sometimes you don't do things that are
what I mean to say is that, like,
spike that tip jar, bitches.
Jerry Springer shit, you know?
Right.
Like, most of the time, your own undoing is yours.
Absolutely.
You don't blame it on somebody else, you know? And, you know, sure.
Not all the time, though. There's
coulda-
definitely people trying to undo your shit for you.
That could have been a failure on multiple parties' part. Okay, here's one.
I feel like this is a good one.
Oh, man. It's not great. I don't know if I should publish this. And my mom unwatched the whole episode. But
Mom,
like,
stop listening.
Sorry, Mom.
Give us a 5-minute
Mom.
break.
Yeah. Anyway, go out to Dixon Street, meet this chick. You know, she sits on my lap. You know, she's gonna take a. You want to take a walk? And then we go take a walk to her place. You know, and it seems like, you know, like a scoring opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But then everything changes because, like, do you want to smoke some pot? I'm like, do I? You know, we go back to her closet, which is normal, and then she pulls out a bong that has never been
Super
cleaned.
normal, dude.
Never been cleaned in its entire career. This thing is brown, even though it's supposed to be clear, and it's on a shrine with a bunch of melted wax next to a picture of her kid. And on the shrine, next to a picture of her kid, are some birth control pills. And that was the moment where I was like, I have to get out of here. You know? Like, I started doing
Had
stuff.
her kid passed?
No. He was alive still.
They had a shrine to their kid with birth control on the shrine.
Conflicting message.
Yeah.
I needed to leave
Yeah.
as soon as possible. So I started doing something wildly out of character. I started listening and being attentive. You know, looking for any angle that I could to, like, figure out how to make this girl not like me. And I figured out
Never done that. That's wild.
And I figured out after, you know, listening for 5 minutes that she was like, I don't know, Alaskan. Not because that's a slur.
Is it? I thought
I don't
that's
know.
what they. Eskimo's a slur. Eskimo.
That's what I said.
Eskimo.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're an Eskimo. No, I'm Native American. Oh, my boss is an Indian. He's like a dot Indian, not a feather Indian. She's like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, you're like, okay, I can dig this hole now.
And I was like, prairie neighbors, and then, yeah, I just turned racist to get out of the one night stand because I like doing the math. I figured that like it was easier to let her off having just met some random asshole than it was for me to explain to her that like the whole shrine to the still living kid thing. Yeah, I don't want to be on that, you know?
Yeah, that's... I don't know. Like, I get appreciating your kids and who they are, but, like, a shrine's kind of wild.
It is. Yeah, it's some Santeria shit.
Can I do a yard piss in the middle of this?
Yard piss? Yeah, we can do it. Make sure we still got
room on there?
Actually, yeah, no, we're good.
I could do it facing the camera if it gets more...
I don't know if we have enough storage for that.
Oh, you do.
It's not 4K.
That's what you're saying.
Your mom called. She said, chill.
And when people are like, well, you know, y'all's show wasn't that great the other night, I'm like, it's shithead honky tonk. It's not all gonna be premiere shit.
Well, that's why, like, the name of my band that I did during the pandemic is the Imperfectionists.
Right.
You know, and that way that, you know, like, because if it sucks, then we didn't lie. You know,
Yeah.
So we told you. And it also, like, I don't know, it gave me a license to do, like, this is the Waylon Jennings School of Business, is you just start playing some shit, and then everybody has to come up around you.
Right.
Or not.
Yeah.
You know? Which is, I don't know. Like, the first instrument that I ended up playing was trombone in, like, 4th grade.
Yeah.
And I was second chair because I didn't study. And
you guys had a band program in 4th grade?
I was up in Minnesota.
Right. They don't have, like, you don't get it until,
They
like,
got-
6th grade in Northwest
They had
Arkansas.
fucking, you could play cello in 3rd grade, and I almost did that. You know? I could have gone to Yale, but I didn't.
Same, brother. Same. Could have went to Juilliard, but I decided not to.
But I played
early
second
on.
chair trombone, and I didn't look at my stuff. So like, what I'd do is I'd match the person next to me, like hand positioning wise, and then I'd just play louder. Which turns out that's how most
people get their
fucking
share.
instruments anybody I've jammed with since then. That's
Oh,
how
I'm a
they
guitar
fucking
player. I
play.
know all about those rules.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. So, you know, fortunate. I've been trying to get back into it. It's kind of funny. Like I practiced for like 2 hours last Saturday, and for like 3 days my feed was just full of Miles Davis, which is better than genocide. Anyway,
Totally better than
practice
that.
your horn, kids. Not well.
How are you feeling about it?
What do you mean?
The trombone at this point. You still enjoying it?
So, when I was playing a thing that I got a new problem that I've never had before, you know? So, like, because I've learned to play by ear unconsciously and just done that for ever, now I'm at a point where it's like, if I'm playing the horn, there's notes I want to hit, and if I'm not, like, moving my lips in the right way to hit the note, or having the slide in the right position, I don't hit the note. Like, there's something that I want to play, and it's definitely somewhere, and I have to, like, look around a little more.
Search for it.
Instead of it just making a noise like a dying fucking animal.
Right.
You know, like it is when you start. Because
Yeah.
you're just
No.
breathing through the thing.
I'm an aspiring slide guitar player, and
Oh, so it's like
I feel like
dead cat.
trombone is the closest thing to the horn. You know? Or are you familiar with Doc Hopper?
Yeah, another Eureka guy.
Yep. I've been hanging out with so many Eureka people here lately.
Tell me what you think about this. All right, let's dwell on that for like 2 seconds. It seems like there's like 5 fucking badasses that are so badass.
Oh, there's more than that.
I know.
And Eureka alone.
But there's 5 that are so cool that they can play any fucking place that they want, any business in Eureka. And that is like I don't want to call it like, gilded handcuffs, but like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
like,
can be a trap. I've heard that from a lot of Eurekans.
Well, so like there's an open mic host that I know out there. Wears a top hat, and I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, bud, but like
Dr. Top Hat.
What? Doc Top. Yeah. Well, he tells a story, and I think this is totally Eureka. And he's like, yeah, I was on my way from New York to Austin, and my car broke down in Eureka, and now I live here. It's been 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. My girlfriend Kristen lives over there, and...
The current one?
Huh?
Never mind.
No. A lot of those people out there have like festival CB handles.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Breaker is his girlfriend.
Well, I play with Bear over there.
Oh yeah.
I've met a guy named
Renowned trucker
Bumblebee over there. There's the guy that's playing with us.
They do go by trucker names, don't they?
Yeah, festival names are the new CB handles.
Wow.
They're not as cool as like when my dad was a trucker.
Yeah,
because my dad was.
It's no rubber ducky. Yeah.
My dad was Happy Cabbage.
Wow.
And he's like, well, you remember that story I told you about Train Robber, right? And I'm like, hold on, you know a guy named Train Robber? Well, he's like, yeah, he was good boogers. He was good buddies. He was good buddies with Booger and Goob.
Yeah, Goober and Booger. Yeah. Who can forget?
Yeah,
Booger and Goob.
I think hers is more of a whiskey handle. She goes by Scat. Well, some people know her as Scat. Anyway.
The few, the proud.
Yeah. The Gooberines.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know where I was going with that.
Scoob and Goob. And Boog.
I tried to figure out one for me. We were going to a festival, me and Kristen, a while back, and she was like, you know who Alex Hoff is?
Yeah, he's the guy who plays like 5 things, and he's one of the 5 Mount Rushmore dudes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, he
absolutely.
Rules, yeah, his brother?
Dylan?
Probably cooler than him.
Huh?
Cooler than Alex, I would say. Yeah,
they're both pretty cool.
No, I had so like first time I hung out with Dylan was like I brought my guitar because I was going to open mic or some shit, and
he got up with you.
No, it was cooler than that. Like it was just
he got down with you.
We hung out. Yeah, he went down on me. No, we ended up playing on his porch.
And
it's like what key is that in? And I'm like this, and then we just ripped it. And it was like,
they're both badasses.
Yes. He moved to Bentonville, actually, I heard.
Dylan did?
Yeah, I heard that him and what's her face broke up. That's the other thing about Eureka. It's a small town.
Yeah. They fuck around and find out.
Yeah, you don't get girlfriend to get turns over there. It's like Alaska. Yeah.
I've been going strong since August, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Wait, are you dating somebody from Eureka?
Yeah, my girlfriend lives in Eureka.
Okay.
So I get it.
I heard Dylan. Never mind.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about Alice. Alice is a badass herself.
No. Wait, is Alice? No.
Well, I think he's still playing with her.
I was trying to insinuate that he banged your girlfriend.
He's on what?
That he banged your girlfriend.
My girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, you know, I'm pretty sure he's a black belt, so he could probably pull it off, but...
Give him that hip thrust. Yeah.
But, okay, so...
Moving on.
Alex, me and my girlfriend have a CB handle for Alex Hoff. And it's Smolder because he just gets so fucking serious when he's shredding the mandolin.
That's his resting face, I think.
It is. He's smoldering all the time.
He looks like he's thinking about something. And I'd hate to play poker against him, you know?
And so we played this festival out on the Buffalo in Jasper a while back, and me and Kristen were pulling in. I was like, dude, you got a fucking CB handle? Alex has a fucking CB handle that's new. Like, I need one. And she's scat, he's smolder, and she's like, you should be squat. And it was just bad enough that I'm like, yeah, squat. I'll take that.
You don't get to pick your nickname. No.
I don't think so.
No, you don't. Like,
But I was talking to Alex I was talking to the smolder about it afterwards, and he was like, dude, we should start a band, Squat and Smolder. Which is, you know, it paints a picture.
It does, yeah.
It's like a...
being a house on fire. Easy t-shirt.
Or just like having to unload the night after on... It's gonna smolder a little bit, and you definitely have to squat.
There's heat coming off of it, yeah. It's like when I first moved to Arkansas. Well, when I first moved to Tulsa, like the first people that I met, like the college initiation guys were like, all right, meet us at this address. And it was like amateur wrestling.
That sounds fun.
It was. It was great. And we're drinking like out of a plastic whiskey bottle in the parking lot in Tulsa, as they want to do.
Yeah. Keep Oklahoma awful.
That's right. Park wherever you want. That's your freedom. And I'm gonna call you Cobra. And I was like, why? I'm like, cuz. And I'm like, oh, okay. I come to Arkansas. Kind of a similar situation, less wrestling. It was unsanctioned, but
It's backyard brawls.
yeah, we had gloves, but kid James Mons is like, I'm gonna call you Seabird, and I'm like, please don't, and I'm like, Seabird, 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 and I'm like, fuck, that's my name now. And that's how I feel about nicknames.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody who tries to give themselves a nickname, I'm skeptical.
Right.
Don't like that. Yeah.
I met this guy at a festival up in St. Louis.
Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Who's
That's the
No,
band.
I know who is, but like who named him?
I don't know.
If it was him,
He got mad at me for calling him his government name.
Greg.
Yeah.
Is it really? Oh, fuck. I was guessing. I got a fucking wild and out.
I'm not allowed to say his government name.
I got a fucking crazy friend who's yeah. I call him boobs. Sorry, we'll bleep that out.
We played a St. Louis festival with Bear's band God Dog. I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that's when he got on to me for calling him by his name. But he like introduced me to this guy, and I'm like, no, I don't like that. Your name's Doug now. I'm like, where you from, Doug? And he told me where he's from. I was like, no, I don't like that either. You're from Texas. You're Doug from Texas now. And the guy was like, he was okay with it. You know, he thought it was, you know.
He was rolling with it.
I'm just riffing.
Clearly a rhythm section guy.
Just riffing. And Bear came up to me afterwards. He's like, dude, that guy's a real fucking gangster that you're fucking saying that shit to. And I'm like, he seemed to like it.
We had fun.
And then I saw him a couple weekends ago, and I'm like, Dougie! You know, like, well, you got to come up with a name for me because I don't want to be Payton when I'm hanging out with you. And he's like, you're Doug too, motherfucker. I'm like, Team Doug.
Doug Bros.
Yeah, Team Doug.
Team Doug, dude. Team Doug is fuck.
But he's King Doug at this point, you know.
Well, how do you measure? I do it by water displacement.
Size of the crown.
Oh, right. All right, yeah.
Or tip, or whatever you want to call it.
Water displacement.
Yeah, that's what
Volume.
it is.
That's what I do.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. We played a place called the Mississippi Underground.
Was it underground or in Mississippi?
Well, the venue was like a rave warehouse.
Okay. That's
And it was right on the Mississippi River.
the underground. Okay. All right. Check. Yeah.
It was the first time I'd been to the place. And, like, you can walk in from upstairs, like if you're an artist or something, but, like, it's dug into, like, a bank on the Mississippi.
Like a vague green room.
Yeah, kinda.
Well, where on the Mississippi is this?
It's like East St. Louis.
Oh, so it's like wider than fuck.
It's mostly like DJs and stuff that play there. We did there was so much glitter on the floor that they'll never get rid of. But like just walking in for load in.
It's a showroom now.
The load in, like I'm having to walk across like the space where the crowd's hanging out, but there's so much glitter on the floor and the lights are wild. And it's like, you don't even need anything to trip out in this place when the lights get going. I was pretty sure the catalytic converter got stole off my car.
Why is that a through line? What the fuck? Tell me you're from Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, we know about that down here, goddamn.
Methamphetamines and palladium.
Do you know what I'm methamphetamine about right this?
Palladium. That sucks.
I don't think it was really the case. I think there was something, like, I looked at the car the next day. It sounded funny. It was like the motor was
I hit something.
way too loud, and it was like a Toyota Corolla. So I'm like, nobody's sneaking underneath this thing. It's way too low to the ground.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like
Yeah, those guys are bringing jacks and a Sawzall, and that's
What?
all you need.
kids at home. That is all you need.
Like, if you guys are looking to get into this business venture,
All you need is $150 Sawzall.
and 2 scissor jacks.
And maybe, well, maybe even only one.
Yeah.
And then, well, depends how much you value your health. And you could get drag stands. That's just for safety, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
Well, they would have got the tires,
carbide
too.
bits. Wait,
Go ahead.
on the Ryobi Sawzall. You're also gonna need to splurge the $50 for the charger. And you can flip those catalytic converters for how much, Mr. P Dog? What was piss?
Well, you know, over here
Pooch Hound?
on the
What was your-
Washington County, Madison County line, it's
So you
premium.
can trade it for a bag of meth.
One whole bag.
Yep.
Not weight. It's just like grabbed by the fistful and thrown in a bag.
Woo!
Now it's a party.
Yep, it's porch bear. This
My
much.
grandma's gonna show up in 10 minutes now.
Oh God! What are you guys doing? It was the rain.
Conrad made it rain down over here.
I am terrified at the idea that my mom watches this show, though.
What's your mom's name?
Alice.
Hello, Alice. Welcome. We miss you. Your dad's still around?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Pop is
You catalog that. Like, we're gonna take the Alice thing out of there. Sorry, Alice. Beep.
That's the marker. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's the best part of the show. Sometimes I'll just say...
It saves your family reunion stuff.
If the episode gets slow, I'll just scream the word, press the button, and then start filming again. And then,
it was more the A word right there.
That's family. Yeah.
F word.
My dad, he's in he's in memory care right now. It's just kind of tough. Like, last time we went out and partied, we went out to, like, a Christmas thing, and then I gave him, like a crepe. Mm-hmm. Like, something I thought was benign. Mm-hmm. And just to drop him off and watch him, like, stick him with the needle after getting the readings back. Like, I almost, like, he could just, like a fucking baguette kills you. That's fucking diabetes. But,
that's rough.
I think it's kind of fun. I try to be, for me, most of the stuff in my life is like, if it's bad enough to tell a good story, then that can work to my benefit,
Yeah.
And with Pop right now, the tough part is that, like, he's not as sharp as he used to be, but he still remembers all of my jokes that I told him.
Right.
Which is also really frustrating for me. Because
you're like, I hate that joke now.
He just remembers all the stinkers. Like, that seems pretty selective to me. How hard are you actually trying? Like, what the fuck?
Right. He likes them though. He likes the ones that he brings up.
No.
He's just like
anytime I try to run bits, and this is true with anybody I've ever like. Hey, I got this joke for you. That's a terrible way to start a fucking joke. You just gotta rip it.
Right.
You can't,
I did that to you the other day on text message.
No, I mean, like, no. Well, I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm just saying in general. It's like, that is the worst opening that you could have.
Like, hey, what are you doing right now?
Hey, you know what I think it's funny?
I got a bit for you, dude.
No, you gotta catch them by surprise. You gotta get them like Napoleon. You gotta give them ribbons instead of money.
Did you remember Wingo? Josh Wingo?
Yeah.
You guys did some shows together, right?
I think so.
I know you've done one with him, at least. Maybe at the Blue Room. Or...
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He was, like... He hadn't been down... He's from Morrilton, Arkansas. But he hadn't been down to Fayetteville in a while. And, like, the first real band I was in, he was the bass player for that band. But, like, we're good buddies. You know, we'll holler at each other every now and then and bullshit for an hour or so. And he was coming down, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to this guy's house. And, like, I followed that guy on Facebook, and I'm like, he's getting his sons trained to be, like, UFC fighters or something.
This is radical.
But this guy was a metalhead.
Oh.
He was a singer in a metal band, and he...
Super radical.
He had some kids with his old lady, and they, like, the kids were fighters, you know? Like... Oh, well, we'll get them in this thing and, like, we can train them up. And I was like, you gotta have you should come up with a joke about, like, you have to be careful with that. Because, like, if you train your son to be a fighter, they're gonna try to whoop your ass.
Eventually,
at some point.
Okay, so
you know?
That happened to me with my little brother.
Oh, yeah?
As soon as you learned the reverse naked choke, it was over with bullying, dude.
That's a devastating move.
Yeah. Especially, like, no more arguments anymore. Yeah, I guess this is... Oh. Yeah, and what a humbling moment as the older brother. Like,
Dude, I know.
Because now I gotta buy a gun. you know.
I've got one little brother, and
Can he kick your ass?
he's big. He
Kick your ass?
He could totally kick my ass.
Ah, man, yeah, no.
He's my bigger, younger brother. But
That's why, like, I'm more on like moral victories now.
yeah,
Especially
because you can't get those combative ones anymore.
No, there's so many martyrs. You don't want to be one of those guys because they're fucking dead. Yeah, you want to. Well, I mean, like, really, like, not that
What are you proving at this point,
not
dude?
that I'm an activist.
I'm just not allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah.
But I talked to Wingo about it, and I knew he was going to this dude's house, and I'm like, you should write a joke about like how you got to be precautious about training your kids to fight MMA. And then he got
They're gonna turn on you.
He got to the guy's house, and he's like, yeah, I don't like I have to be cautious.
Well, I didn't hear
because my kids can whip my ass now. And he's like, it was such a serious thing that I don't feel comfortable writing a joke about this anymore.
Well,
and I'm like, well, that's real. That's why you should make a joke about it.
I mean, I didn't hear that the Menendez family was big on gun safety. That's a digger.
Bros for life.
And they're out now.
That's gross.
Evil wins. Well, not that they're evil. I don't know. I think. What do you think about like, just like mass media? I think that like half of it are people trying to get like a paycheck, and this is like obviously that, but like.
Give us the money, bitches.
Eventually, please. But no, like I feel like anytime I hear somebody complaining about some stuff, anytime there's like a protest at the park, like there's a million different interpretations of like the actual thing that they claim that they're complaining about, and that most of it's really about putting the attention on themselves. And it's a shame that like so many hot chicks also show up to these protests, because that's just exacerbating the problem. Like, it's not a protest because it's allowed.
You don't want any hot chicks at your protests?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Conrad Linsmeyer doesn't like hot chicks at protests. I'm saying, you guys heard it here first.
Master of communication, Conrad Linsmeyer, slams.
He's a comedian. He means everything he's ever said.
I'm actually a reporter.
Right.
Unless I'm wrong.
I don't know. It's hard to trust any of it at this point because
That's what I'm saying.
It's so double. So, like, it's just like one side.
I guess, like, okay, so I'm not saying that one person should be outraged at the suffering of another person, whomever. But what I am saying is that, like, making it about yourself in the process of complaining about said thing is a totally different thing. And I feel like that is just rampant, you know? And it's...
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's all clickbait shit.
Well, for example, like this show, the whole mission objective is just to have fun on a porch in an abandoned, possibly haunted Jesse James hideout looking roadhouse.
You heard it here first.
But
James family hideout.
But like, I don't know. It's like if you were to throw like a benefit show on behalf of something else. As a guitar player, what the fuck do you know about the gig before you're getting there, other than the songs you need to play? Like,
I mean,
really, like,
yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to accuse anybody of like
lifting money off of fundraisers. I'm sure it happens.
Well, no, but I feel like.
Well, it's like you only know what you're told on those situations, and if you believe in it, then.
And I feel like
for me personally, it's like going to play a show for free to help somebody else out that you've heard one side of a story. Then, I mean,
you go to one show and there's a flag in the background. You're like. This is not very punk rock right now.
I mean, I'll go play a show for nothing.
I mean, yeah. If there's people there, shit. I mean, I get that.
And if it feels like a good cause to you, then why wouldn't you?
Well, I'm not.
You can donate your time for that.
I'm not throwing charity under the bus.
Right, I understand that.
Wholesale. I don't know. I just get like a weird feeling about like whenever people do something on behalf of a group of people that are nowhere nearby, you know?
Right.
Because to me, all that is signaling, which is like, it's the same as like when some guy who's buying a bunch of expensive shit to appear like he's a rich guy, and he's fucking not, you know?
Yeah.
Which is the
that
opposite.
definitely happens.
Like, no, I mean, I've seen it, like, you know, versus, I don't know. I feel like the hierarchy of needs is like simple. You know, and as in like as an artist, like the hardest thing to do is to be authentic.
Absolutely.
Because to find your own voice is something that isn't
own voice, own sound, own style.
Well, traditionally not a fun experience.
No, it's tough.
Right.
Because when you're a kid, especially like coming up in the age of the internet, where you can learn whatever style is just like fitting your personality for whatever given moment, and then you devoting your time for that.
Right.
It's like you get to a point where it's like, is this me? I know I like this, but does this ring true? Like I thought country music for the longest time, and I'm like, I'm a kid from Arkansas. Like,
why the fuck wouldn't I do it?
Yeah.
So I have the opposite. It's like, okay, so I taught myself how to play guitar. Mm-hmm. And I taught myself while I learned to like sing. And my favorite shit was Trampled by Turtles.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So without knowing,
they're out of Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Duluth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a
same place as Bobby D.
We had a bench clearing brawl.
Robert Zimmerman, if you will.
Don't know.
That's Bob Dylan's real name.
No, he's from Hibbing.
But he came up in Duluth, right? Before he moved to the Greenwich.
I don't like Bob Dylan. I don't know.
You'll grow up someday.
No, I'm from where he's from.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you.
It's a different kind of cheese, dude.
I'm not into hating people for
cheese politics.
Not liking stuff that.
All right. So my theory on Bob Dylan is that like he made an album that was pure bullshit and everybody ate it up because he was hot.
Which album?
The fourth one.
Nashville Skyline?
Yes.
Is it when he went crooner?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
But ever since, well, it still sold.
It did.
And ever since then, like, the interviews that he takes, like, there's a point in his career where, like, all the interviews, he goes from, like, smiling to being like,
just super jaded about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that Bob Dylan got stung by himself because he made an album of bullshit and everybody loved it anyway.
Uh-huh.
But only he knew it was bullshit.
Yep. I don't like crooner Dylan.
Anyways.
One of my bandmates, Warren Dietzel, do you know him?
Mm-mm.
Phenomenal multi-instrumentalist. Killer guitar player, killer mandolin player, killer bass player, killer drummer. He can sing harmonies for days. Whatever. He's a big Dylan fan. And it's like Dylan was super
influential
early on.
And not playing the guitar and not playing the harmonica. Yes. Sorry.
But like he was making political songs when JFK got killed.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. They killed the president. And so what's it something for them to take a folk singer out. And there's some big Dylan songs that I like The Man in Me, which is on the Big Lebowski. I love that.
All right, yeah.
But it didn't necessarily ring true with me at first. I just liked it because of what it was involved in with certain media.
I know, like I know, like two of the.
I think you would like.
I know most of the songs from the Big Lebowski. I'll play them when I'm going to Chelsea's on August 16th. Oh no, July 12th.
And August 16th and every other date.
No, it's gonna be outside in the middle of fucking July.
You playing the porch?
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that spot, dude.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite. St. Patty's was awesome. Anyway, Dylan.
I had a good buddy that I grew up with that, it's funny, he didn't smoke or anything in high school, and then he got, super into weed. He was our valedictorian.
Oh.
He got the Chancellor's scholarship, which is one of the biggest scholarships you can get in Arkansas. And he went into college, and I'm like, what are you going for? And he's like, dude, I'm just going to be a professional student as long as I can be without having to pay for it. And, but, he got into weed a little while afterwards.
Immediately after that, yeah.
Not immediately. It took him a while. But he got into the Dead, and he started just, listening to everything from start to finish, live albums and everything. And then after he went through that catalog, he got into Dylan. And I'm like, man, there's some Dylan songs that I like.
Hold on, wait.
And so I
stop. Sorry. You got through all.
Not all of it, but
the Dead.
Well, he had a Spotify
70
account.
years old.
And started running through the catalog. So live dates and whatnot.
All right.
And then he got into Dylan, and I'm like, man, I've never really given Dylan a chance. There's some songs that I like, but his first album is, it's old school country blues.
Okay.
And it's him playing guitar on it, I believe. And it's just it sounds, it's not dumb, raw Dylan stuff.
Yeah.
But some of the songs, that's my favorite Dylan album. It's his first album.
You know who inspired the shit out of me recently?
Who's that?
Buddy fucking Guy.
Buddy Guy's a fucking killer, dude.
Dude, 88 years old. I saw him open up for Tedeschi Trucks.
That's right. I commented on your post about going to it.
All right, funny takeaways from that was I was pooping on something, and I forgot that I was cool, and that the security guy gave me a high five when I was having a panic attack. It was great. Buddy Guy ripped.
Absolutely, dude.
He was more punk rock than the headliner. He was throwing out fucks on Walmart property, all the at 80 fucking 8, and he didn't want to get off stage, and I was like, shit.
Have you ever seen any of the Clapton's Crossroad DVDs? It's Clapton's festival, but he was only throwing it every so many years. But they got live performances on the DVDs.
Oh shit!
For every one of them.
Yeah.
Not every performance, but it was seeing Buddy Guy in that mix, because he'd have his own set, but they would, and Clapton would invite him up. Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi would invite him up, and it was that's a gamble, inviting Buddy Guy up
he
on
could
your
take
set.
over the fucking
because
thing.
dude, he's a head cutter.
No, man.
He'll cut your goddamn head off.
It was. Oh, we got a frog. It was honestly it was inspirational, because I was I don't know, and I mean
it's hard to say. It's you don't think of Buddy Guy as a powerhouse and
he absolutely is.
But but he totally fucking it.
And he's the guy who's had like a career.
Yeah, spanning
Since,
like what, 60 years or some shit.
As longer than I've been alive, you know?
Absolutely.
So like, and like honestly, like in the wake of all of like the big stuff that's coming out in terms of your favorite pop star du jour, like that's, I think, important, you know?
The only thing I don't like about Buddy Guy is that polka dot guitar.
Yeah.
But it's Buddy Guy.
No.
So it's like,
He's that
who cares what you're playing
at
that point?
That's something I've been trying to explain.
Explain to people is like, attention to detail and preparation is the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be up there in overalls playing a banjo that you made yourself out of a bathtub.
Yeah, Reverend Payton and his big goddamn band.
Yeah, but if you do it cool enough, then if you do it good enough, then you are the coolest person at the fucking
Absolutely.
function. You know?
Yeah, but he's like also like just the
Polka
showmanship
dots. Yeah.
and the like.
Dude.
I feel like he's kind of dropped off a little bit as far as his technicality,
Sure.
but he's still got that fire in him.
Sure, but he's whatever.
It doesn't take away from what he's doing now. It's just like, dude, he's what, 85-year-old man at this point or some
88.
shit? Really?
88.
Yeah.
88.
So
and you can
he's already
still bang your mom, dude. Like,
he's already lived past his life expectancy.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's still killing it.
he's just doing victory laps. And like, okay, so like ever since watching him, I started like playing with the thumb pick until I file it down from practicing enough till it's.
I feel like I'd have to file one down. I feel like my hand's too far away.
So
with a new.
There's one that's got like.
There, I'll send you a picture. There's ones that are like, I don't know, they're like 1/8 of an inch, like thick. They stick out, and they've got like 2 little like fins so that it flexes, so that you're kind of not doing it. And then I've been like tempted to just grow my fingernails out, like I'm some kind of fucking wizard.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting at a certain point, you know, because I don't want to tear a hole in my own bag.
Coke with all of these fingernails.
I wouldn't, no, because I scratch my balls with the same ones, you know, it feels good.
Oh, you want that in there.
You want the
We can't put
Sorry,
that
Ma.
in there. Sorry, Alice. Oh,
sorry, hold on. Scratching my and doing. Don't get them confused. You don't want to sniff.
Yeah. Sniffing and scratching drugs.
Catch a fucking
So you're gonna have
deviated
to
septum.
edit the out of this thing for me.
You got genital warts in your septum. Yeah. At least they think it. All right. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. On that note,
I hope this is the toughest one for you to edit, though.
Last week was harder.
Yeah.
This has actually been pretty.
you're
Pretty casual.
No, I mean you're a fantastic guest, and somebody that I wouldn't be ashamed to like introduce to my mom or.
All right, me and the bouncer at this point.
Yeah, we only talked about different bathrooms like one time in the whole episode. The last one was a lot about that. You know, a lot of those business meetings. Anyways, this has been Connie. A lot of those boobs. This has been Connie's Untitled Nighttime Talk Show with Payton Easley at the Haunted Homestead. Tune in next time whenever I have the time to do this stuff. Thank you to Bryce and Steven and hopefully Alice. Mom.
You get the hell out of here now.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.